The chaparral climate is separated into the four seasons, although spring and fall are mixed together. They both have characteristics from the summer and winter with a moderate amount of rain and heat. The average rainfall in spring is 2.2 inches and the temperature is 56 Fahrenheit. And for fall, the average precipitation is 4.2 inches and 65 Fahrenheit. In the summer, it can get very hot with temperatures reaching 91 Fahrenheit. However, the average temperature is 71 Fahrenheit. The summers are hot and dry and usually 0 inches of rainfall. The only way that organisms survive there is when fog evaporates off the ocean. The dryness of this climate is a perfect environment for wildfire, which occurs a lot. In the chaparral, there are two types of fires that are very common in the summer. Crown fires, where large, high-intensity fires take out all the above-ground living material. And surface fires, where mixed-severity fires burn forests and create low, moderate, and high-severity burn patches. Low-severity fire burns just the understory vegetation, leaving larger trees unharmed. High-severity fire burns off nearly all the above-ground living material, like a crown fire. Scientists have studied how wildfires affect plants, and there are four categories. The obligate resprouters die during fires and resprout after the fire is gone. The obligate seeders die in the fire and then their seeds are triggered by the fire to germinate, which means grow from seeds. The fire followers are annual adult plants that actually require fire to germinate, or to grow. The facultative seeders are adult plants who resprout after a fire cue enhances seed germination. The chaparral climate during the winter is cool and moist, and it is the season where the chaparral gets its precipitation from. The average temperature of the coldest month is 64 Fahrenheit, but temperature as low as 30 Fahrenheit have been recorded. There is only 10 to 17 inches of rain per year, mostly from winters. The average rainfall for winter is 6.8, and spring is 2.2, summer is 0.2, and fall is 4.2 inches. The temperature ranges from 30 Fahrenheit to 100 Fahrenheit. This is a chaparral precipitation and temperature graph. As you can see, precipitation is lowest during the summer months of May through September, and it is the highest during the months of January through March when the winter occurs. The temperature is highest during the summer when it is the driest, and lowest during the winter. The chaparral cells are called subtropical high-pressure cells. However, during the summer, the lakes and rivers are covered by a marine layer, which is a dense mass of cool, moist air that accumulates over the surface of large bodies of water, especially oceans. This makes it very hard for water to evaporate and later precipitate since it is shielded by a marine layer. However, during the winter, the polar jet streams reach the chaparrals. They are like rivers of wind that blow away or push away the marine layer, which allows for evaporation and later precipitation. The result of this is that the chaparral mostly receives precipitation during the winter and not for 4 to 6 months during the summer where the marine layer is covering it.
Chaparrals exist in a mid-latitude climate and lie in a belt of prevailing westerly winds. This is why chaparrals tend to be on the west side of continents. Chaparrals are created when cool water from an ocean merges with a landmass that is at a high temperature. Places like Mediterranean Basin, California, Central Chile, Southwest Australia, the Cape Province of South Africa, and as far north as the southeastern tip of Vancouver Island, Canada, contain chaparrals.
The mostly dry climate comes from the equator winds. The equator is warm, wet air rises, then it precipitates on the equator as moisture. This air mass then spreads and falls at the chaparral's latitude as very dry air because all the moisture has been used up.
The soil in the chaparral is very nutrient poor. The first layer has elements of magnesium, nickel, and chromium and are usually toxic to plants. The second layer is high in calcium but is not necessarily high in nutrients. The third layer are vernal pools. These are shallow bodies of water that sometimes occur when the rain during the winter season has been plentiful. Fourth layer, the gabbro, is an ingenious rock layer. This layer contains high level of iron and sometimes chromium. A layer which is found only near rivers and streams is the alluvial soil layer. This is high in organic material and can support a thick forest of oak trees. The animals in the chaparral have to be highly adaptive to the hot and dry weather with no precipitation and many wildfires, so they are used to living without water. Most of the animals retreat to underground burrows that are deep enough to be insulated from the extremely hot fires. These are some examples of the carnivores, herbivores, producers, and decomposers in a chaparral. The vegetation in the chaparral is mostly made up of short, dense shrubs. Being short and dense allows the shrubs to survive in dry areas. This is called the drought resistance strategy. The leaves are sclerophyll leaves. They are thick and waxy and hard, which prevents dehydration through transpiration. Also, drought deciduous plants are plants that drop their leaves during dry seasons to save water, in contrast to those who drop their leaves in cold periods. The ecological benefits of a chaparral is endemism. Endemism means only found in a specific location. These are a list of 5 endemic and near endemic species in the chaparral. The chaparral has the highest number of endemic mammal species for the U.S. and Canadian regions. The chaparrals are very important to people. People have adapted by herding animals over large areas because the chaparral contains adequate feeding grounds for their herds. Also, the chaparral allows for the slow buildup of water sinks. The chaparral climate is profitable by growing olives and grapes, and these are usually places where the best wines come from. Also, the chaparral contains the tree that cork comes from.